Yeah. Wow. Wow. MUNFU Proffitt off top. Y'all know I did the old list. Now I gotta do the updated list because y'all was on my bumper. Top 5 most powerful characters in League of Legends. Y'all know what's up, man.
Hello everyone and
the
welcome.
Homie Necrit.
More than a year ago, I released a video that marked a new beginning for my channel.
Facts.
That video was of course the top 5 most powerful champions. And since the lore is ever shifting, the power changes too. Champions that were around the top last time may not even make it to the list. And I have no doubt that next year, this list would be completely different again. If you are interested in the full stories of the champions we are going to talk about, the links should be on the screen and in the description. So let's have a look at the currently most powerful characters you can find in the world of League of Legends.
Y'all know what's up.
Number 5. Let's start this list with a character that dominated the list last time. He dropped to number 5 not because he became weaker, but because there are simply more powerful beings now. Xerath, or as he likes to call himself, Emperor Xerath, is the strongest of all Ascended. Unlike Nasus and Renekton, who were chosen by the Sun Disk and were given the gift of Ascension,
I don't think I've seen
Xerath
this dude.
forcefully took it. He killed Azir, for whom the ritual of Ascension was prepared.
Okay.
He stepped before the Sun Disk and started channeling its powers. He continued to fuse with its energy until his mortal shell broke and his body turned into pure arcane energy. Even the combined forces of the two ascended beings, Nasus and Renekton, wasn't enough to defeat Xerath. Instead, they had to imprison him inside a sarcophagus that would limit his powers. Renekton then willingly...
So basically like a mummy. Now, I've seen him kind of break into a little bit of this in the lore story. It was, I believe it was the story, the timeline. So I'm talking about this, my man betrayed basically his best friend, his brother, something like that. That's why, you know what I mean, a lot of stuff went down.
Locked himself inside a tomb together with Xerath to make sure he couldn't escape. But Xerath was able to play mind tricks on Renekton, and over the years he twisted his mind and awoke a deep hatred toward Nasus. Xerath now roams the deserts, building an army ready to siege the capital city and take Azir's place as the true emperor of Shurima.
Okay.
True ascension is granted only to the worthy.
It's my introduction to him.
Number 4. At number 4 we have incredibly underrated champion. Or should I say, champions. People that just play the game know Pantheon as a ruthless warrior from Targon. But he is so much...
See, I feel like I've seen his helmet a lot. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe there's another helmet, but I've seen the significance of his helmet a lot. Could be wrong.
More. What we see physically is a boy formerly known as Atreus.
Okay.
Together with his friend Pylus, they took on the challenge to ascend Targon. For the legend says, those who ascend the mountain return as legendary warriors. Unfortunately, Pylus died at the very peak, but Atreus was welcomed by a cosmic being. It was the aspect of war which granted him powers from beyond this world. By now you may be thinking, how can a holy warrior defeat a being of pure arcane energy? Well, here is what most people miss. Pantheon is not a chosen warrior. Pantheon is a network of beings connected throughout cosmos. Different warriors are scattered across different worlds, but all are connected with single mind. A medium called the essence of war. If one Pantheon dies, the rest cries out across the galaxy to honor the lost. And when the time comes, a new avatar of war would rise to secure the world. So in the end, the Pantheon we know is one of many avatars of war that together secure many different worlds.
They disgrace the art of war.
Okay.
Number 3. At number 3 we have a champion that originally just barely made...
We got my man. He's back. He's back. Now he's obviously a very, very powerful champion because I see Ryze A lot of different stuff, a lot of different things. He's been in a lot of different appearances, so obviously people, you know what I mean, gravitate towards him a lot.
It onto the list. But now, even though his core elements stayed the same, he became much more important character. Ryze originally served as the protector of a scroll that held the key to the destruction of Runeterra. While this is essentially still the case, his story expanded onto why he is the greatest mage to ever walk on this world. Learning under his master Tyrus, Ryze mastered the basics of arcane magics. When the world runes started appearing across the entire Runeterra, humans started using it against each other. This period is known as the Rune Wars. In order to stop the chaos, Tyrus and Ryze traveled around Runeterra collecting the runes and hiding them where no mortal being could ever reach them.
That's why in their cinematic, he had to go basically real deep, and it was like, it looked like it was underground. Okay.
But over time, Tyrus lost his last hopes to save humanity. And instead he realized that the only way to save this world would be to destroy those who try to use the runes. And after releasing the power of one of the world runes and wiping out entire Shuriman nation, Ryze realized his master was lost to madness. He was forced to defeat Tyrus and continue their work alone, because as long as there would be runes in the world, Runeterra could be destroyed. As he picked up more and more runes on his task, they started radiating their energy into his body, trying to corrupt him the same way they corrupted Tyrus. After enough radiation, his own body became powered by the runes. Ryze is now fused with the very force that created this world, serving as the last bridge holding Runeterra together.
Yeah. It makes sense. Ryze is... He seemed like he that guy. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna lie, he seems like he's that guy. Like, that's what's up, man.
Remember when only one world weighed on my shoulders?
Now he's got multiple.
Before I cover the top 2 characters on this list, I have to give some honorable mentions. I have 3 champions that didn't make it onto the list, simply because we don't know too much about their powers.
Okay.
First one being Bard. Last time, a lot of you wondered why wasn't Bard somewhere around the top. Well, that is because he never really fought anything, so we have no idea how strong he is. He serves as the protector of Runeterra, trying to save humanity from itself, but outside of that, that's it. Being a celestial doesn't mean he's a god. He is just one of the first beings to ever walk Runeterra. Second honorable mention is Shen. He has the power to reach into the spirit realm of Runeterra and fight in both physical world and spirit world. But how much that actually...
He's mad dope. Visually, he's mad dope. I like that. He looks ill.
means, we don't know. In the end, he is just a ninja that can fight creatures that others can't even see. In terms of real power, he is very limited. And the third one I wanted to mention is Taric. Together with Leona and Diana actually. All 3 of them should be on the same level as Pantheon and possibly Ryze. The only difference between them is that their powers came from a different aspect. We have the aspect of War, the aspect of Guardian, and the aspects of Sun and Moon.
Okay.
They have slightly different roles, but similar powers. So with all these mentioned, it's time to dive into the final 2.
We're here for it.
Number 2. It wouldn't be a list talking about power without Aurelion Sol, the creator of the universe we know. At the beginning of time, Aurelion emerged from nothingness. He traveled to the vast empty space before realizing he can brighten his path with light, and so he spread stars across the cosmos, each star being a piece of himself. On his journeys he sometimes met other cosmic creatures, although it was very rare. When he cycled around and arrived at the places he had already been, he noticed that small planets formed around his stars. One of those planets was Runeterra, a unique piece of rock which could maintain a form of life. Every time Aurelion traveled away, in the end he always returned to Runeterra, wondering how much his planet has evolved. Eventually he noticed that a small species spread across the planet.
I was about to say, I wonder if he had any connection with Xerath, I believe, how do you pronounce it? It starts with an X. Wondered if he had any connection with that, because that seems like pretty similar.
Praying to and celebrating the stars. So one day, Aurelion decided to finally reveal himself and show the true form of the comet that crossed the skies.
He ugly as hell.
The first to witness his true form were the warriors of Targon. To celebrate their new friendship, the humans crafted Aurelion a golden crown, but to his surprise, it was a trap. The crown forced Aurelion to do their biddings. Its curse would cause one of his stars to die each time he used his powers against the people of Targon.
Okay.
Every time Aurelion wouldn't listen to the commands from Pantheon, a piece of himself would die.
No, I was wrong.
That is the story of how Pantheon enslaved the creator of worlds.
Ah, so Pantheon captured, that's crazy.
Fate was sealed the moment you picked up Targon's spear.
That's fly. I like that. That's
Number
crazy.
one. At this point you may be wondering, who could possibly be stronger than the creator of our universe? Someone who can exceed the power to create light to brighten the cosmos. Someone who can create life itself. Aurelion's true enemy. We don't know its name or what it looks like, but we know it's there. We can only refer to it as the entity. The being Aurelion sensed through the massive void rift which cut into Runeterra. The same being that spreads the ever-consuming darkness we call the Void from the darkest corners of the galaxy. The forger of life that can consume and adapt to its surroundings. It doesn't matter what champions or weapons the cosmos can call upon, the Void will adapt. It is said that the first time Aurelion witnessed this enemy was the first time he ever felt fear. Aurelion now travels to Runeterra willingly every time a new void rift opens, to drive back the enemy that can consume everything. If Aurelion ever fails to seal the rifts, they could spread enough to let this being end everything. Aurelion recently called upon the avatars of Targon, so it is just a matter of time for the Dark God to arrive.
That's some bullshit.
Beyond the stars, hide horrors far greater than any can imagine.
And that is the top 5 most powerful character.
Heard you, Necrit. Listen, that's some bullshit. The way that ended kind of made me mad. Why they give my man that ability? Because I feel like at some point in time there's gonna be a greater being than that. And I feel like I was a little confused by the end. I was a little confused by the last one. So did he have a name, or did we just literally call it the entity? Because if so, then it's like, so he just the guy that's just the end all be all for that, and there's just nobody who could beat him. I don't know, man. Let me know in the comment. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Bow.